I'm going to take you through the process of creating a symbol. And basically, this is just using the pen tool to accurately recreate whether it's a drawing or original creation, but you're creating with the digital Illustrator using the pen tool, creating shapes with no outlines, with just color, and then layering those shapes to create your symbols. And then at the end, group them up so you can transfer them and move them around to wherever you want them to go. All right, so these are simple objects. You'll be able to do two a day. So Thursday, two will be due. Friday, two more will be due. The first thing you need to do is go ahead and open up Schoology and get the image that you intend to recreate. So I'm going to go to Schoology, and I'll take you through this first one, and then you kind of do the same things for the last three. All right, so this is, of course, Visual Arts 2. Go to the digital art folder, week 3 through 5, create an object. And right here it says simple object images. Go ahead and click with that folder. And the first one is the tree. If you control click, you get this little menu item, and you go ahead and save image as, and I'm saving it to the desktop, and I'm gonna hit save. Okay, so there's the image, it's saved to the desktop. And I can go ahead and close this as soon as my little rainbow circle goes away. Okay. All right, then there's my picture. Go to Illustrator, and of course I'm gonna go through the same things of starting a new file, letting this open. All right, so file new, and we can call this tree, simple object 1, whatever you want to call it. And for this particular one, we're just gonna go with 8.5 by 11 inches, so it's just a letter size. And I'm gonna hit OK. So it's not a very big image, but there it is. I'm gonna go ahead and drag my tree into this file. The tree's pretty big. I'm gonna resize it. So holding down Shift, let me resize this. It's fine. Sit it right in the center. Just don't make it real small. It could be exactly the same size. It really doesn't matter. Just don't make it super little. That's a pretty good size right there. I'm going to lower the opacity, and I'm going to go to layers, lock this layer, add a new layer, and I'm working on a new layer. All right, so we're using the pen tool with no fill, just an outline. And I'm gonna start with a simple black outline. And what I notice is there's the shape of the leaves and there's the shape of the tree. But for the leaves, there's actually two shapes. There's a dark green shape, and then right on top of that, a little bit smaller, is the light green shape. So when I use my pen tool, I'm gonna make sure that I'm going, excuse me, just around I'm gonna start with the light green area. I want to just go around the light green area first. Okay, so I'm gonna start in here at a corner, and I'm gonna click and drag, and notice how I'm only lining up with the light green area. So again, it's click, drag, and I'm clicking and dragging until I get the curve I want. All right, then I click in the middle at the anchor, and I go to a new spot, click, drag. All right, so it's click, drag, click, drag, click, drag, click, drag, click, drag, click, drag. With larger curves like this one, I might come here and click in the middle and then finish that curve off, just because I may not be able to get it all in one click. I can't get the whole curve in one. For example, here's this long one. I can't go here and get the exact curve. See, that curve is not going to give me exactly what I want. right? So instead, hit Command Z. I'm gonna go in the middle first, and I'm gonna do the first half of the curve, and then do the second half of the curve. So sometimes you have to be aware of that to be accurate. All right, so there's the first one. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do the second one. So this time I'm on the outside of this. And I can give this whole thing a color. Once I got the outline there, and I'm gonna go with a light green for the inside color. I'm gonna take away the line so I have no black outline. And there's that. Just to make it a little easier, I'm gonna keep this for now as an outline so I can flip-flop that color. So right here I just flip the color to the outline and have no fill just so I can still see. So it's still there, but I really can't see it because it's a lighter color. It's not black. All right, so I'm gonna start my next one. Change that color back to black. And this time I'm doing the dark green area. And I'm gonna make a new layer for that. So I'm gonna lock this layer, add a new layer. And here's my pen tool. This time I'll do the dark green. Click, click, drag. And I'm doing the outside this time. If it's a little off, I can always adjust that later. So I'm not gonna get too overly concerned if it's a little bit off. I'll be able to adjust that later. So if I want to make these adjustments, again, I go to the white arrow and I can just move these around just a little bit. I can use the handles to adjust my curves. It looks pretty good. All right, and this of course is a darker green. So for this one, I'm gonna change this color to a darker green. And let's flip that color. Now these colors aren't exactly like the colors that I want. but they are there. So here's my light green and here's my dark green. Now, because of the order I created, and remember the top layer is on top, so I want to move this layer underneath. So I'm gonna just slide it underneath, or I can move this one up to the top. There we go. And I have my light green layer on top of my dark green layer. So there's those two shapes. Got it? All right. Next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna hide both of those, and I'm gonna go to my next shape, which is add a new layer. I'm gonna do my tree trunk. So I'm gonna start with the dark brown. Let's go back to the pen tool. Let's flip this. I need to outline, and I'm gonna do the dark brown first. I'm gonna pick a dark brown, and we're gonna start with the outline. So I'm gonna start here. Let's start down here at the corner. And I'm basically doing the same thing. This time I'm tracing just the dark brown area. Remember, I click, drag, click, drag. Now, right here, I know this is going to go behind the green. So I'm just going to click it and make it come all the way over here. Just make sure it lines up. And see how it kind of went way past there? Doesn't really matter. All right. Just make that little shape. Wrong spot. I want it there. All right. Click. Same thing on this side. Let it go a little bit outside of that. Click, click. And there we go. We're finished. It's a dark brown. All right. Take that. Flip that color. Lock it. Hide it. I'm going to add a new layer. And I'm going to do the light brown. So I'm going to change this color to a light brown. Let's go with this tan. And let's flip that to the outline. And now I'm doing the inside. Remember, in big long curves, I'm not going to try to knock them all out at one. I kind of go in the middle of the curve, get the first half, then come and get the second half. It's always going to be more accurate that way. Boom. Flip that. All right, so when I bring all these back, I have the tree. Now they're all on 4 different layers, which is fine. And I can always make sure if I hide all of these, let me lock all of these layers really quickly. If I hide all of these, there's the original image, there's my image. All right, so I'm kind of looking at it to see if there's any little areas that need to be adjusted. And I do notice one right up here, the dark green and the light green. I think the light green is a little bit too big on the dark green. So I take that away. See that little difference? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and make that adjustment. So it's to this layer. I'm gonna unlock it, click it, and I'm gonna switch this back to just the outline just so I can look at it. And let's zoom in on that area. Yeah, see my light green is a little bit off in here. That's why I didn't quite look right. So I'm gonna use my white arrow and I can make those adjustments and also adjust the curve. Get it back close to being on point. Let's move this down a little. Yeah, that's better. Let's move that curve. Let's move this curve. Oh, this one's off. It's better. Move this over to there. And let's adjust this curve. All right, so again, the handle changes the curve. So when I click that point, it gives me a handle here. I can change that curve. Now this one, see that curve was a little bit too wide. I couldn't make it in one. So if I want to add a little thing in here, I click that down. I'm gonna add a little anchor point right there. Boom. Then I can change that point, and I can change the curve in there. Let's take this away. There we go. All right, made that. That looks a lot better. It looks a lot better. Change this curve a little. Uh-oh. All right, so just little adjustments. All right, that looks a lot better. All right, let me flip that. All right, so this is done. There's my image. Now, I'm going to lock everything, and I'm going to unlock my original picture, which is in the background. Let's move this out to the side. I don't need that anymore. Move it there. I'm going to also bring that opacity back up to 100. And when I look at it, it looks pretty good. Oh, it's a little bit tight in there. It's all right. I'm not really going to be concerned about that as much, but it's a pretty good likeness of a recreation. All right, so the only thing I want to do is make sure these colors are exactly the same. And see, that brown that I have here is not quite the same as these browns here. The greens is pretty close, but that dark green here and this dark green is not quite the same. Neither is the light greens. So I'm going to be able to steal these colors. So this is what I'm going to do. Go to Object. I'm going to go to Rasterize. Okay? And I'm going to rasterize my picture, that original picture. And you know it's rasterized because that little X goes away. See how the little X went away? And this became white on the outside. So now this is rasterized. Rasterized just basically means it takes an image and it adjusts it and recognizes the color in the program. So now I can actually steal that color. So let's go back to, I'm going to start unlocking these. I'm going to lock this back and I'm going to start with my light green. Let's hide these other ones. So here's my light green. I'm going to click on the light green. I'm going to click this eyedropper tool. And then I'm going to click this. This is the color I want it to be. Boom. It just got a little bit lighter. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and lock that layer. Bring the dark green back. I'm going to go to my eyedropper. Go to my black arrow. Oop, got to unlock that layer. All right. So now I'm on the black area. Go to my eyedropper. And I'm going to get right on the edge of that dark green. Boom. Let's click that. Bam. There's the dark green. All right. So I'm going to lock that, hide that, show that. Unlock that. It's the light brown. Eyedropper tool. Let me get this black arrow. Select that. Eyedropper. Boom. Change it to that color. Good. That's it. Lock that back. Bring this out. Unlock. Black arrow. Select. Eyedropper. Right on that dark brown area. Boom. There it is. Now when I bring all this back, they're going to be exactly the same color. Pretty darn good. All right. Big difference when I zoom in now. One is going to be pixelated, as you see, but my on the other side, perfectly clean line, no pixelation at all. So now imagine if this was in your original creation, then you can make your drawing, even though it's scanned in there, you can recreate it using only shapes, no outlines. You'll notice that none of these have outlines, they're only solid colors. So my dark areas are its own shape. So it's shapes on top of shapes on top of shapes on top of shapes. All right. Now to finally create this as a symbol, I'm going to unlock all my layers for my tree. Don't need the tree anymore. So it's over here to the side. And I'm going to select all. So it selects all 4 layers. You see how it's all the different colors. All right. Then I'm going to go to Object Group, or you can do Command G for group, and you're going to group them all together. And what it does is it took everything from layer 4, 5, or all these layers, 3, 4, and 5, and put it all on layer 2. And it put layer 2 at the top layer. I don't need any of these layers anymore. So I'm going to delete all these layers. Boom, got rid of that one. Boom, got rid of that one. Boom, got rid of that one. And I only have 2 layers. One layer has the tree that I created, and I can click it and I can move it all around separately. All right, it's its own thing. And of course, I got the picture, which is locked off to the side. Once you have that, we're going to save it. I'm going to go to File, Save, and of course, I saved it as a tree. That's my Visual Arts 2 folder. I don't have to worry about using artboards because this is an Illustrator file, not a JPEG. And I'm gonna hit Save. These on all these projects, you're gonna actually submit to me the Adobe Illustrator file. You are not going to save it as a JPEG. You're not going to save it as a PNG. You're going to submit to me the Illustrator file. All right, when I grade this, I'm going to download your Illustrator file. I'm going to open it up, and I should be able to see your image here. I should be able to click this. I should be able to see all these lines from all these shapes that you created. I should also be able to go and ungroup them. This is how I know you actually created it. I should be able to ungroup it. I should be able to click on these areas. I should be able to see that you have that part. You should have this part. You should have this part. All right. I should see all four of those shapes separately that together create this tree. All right. So you have a tree. There's an orange. Everything is a shape on top of another shape on top of another shape. If you think about what's in the very back, you can start with that shape and you can work your way up and build the entire thing. Okay. So that's how you create these.